These are the strangest hybrid creatures in the world, and guess what? We were never meant to see them, so buckle up. Rockaroni penguins. Imagine standing on an icy shore when suddenly two species of penguins commit an interspecies act that defies nature, creating a bizarre hybrid chick that's half rockhopper, half macaroni. That's not fiction, that's real. These rockaroni penguins were filmed by National Geographic as a female rockhopper paired with a male macaroni penguin, and chicks hatch. Now, these hybrids arise despite different breeding habits and habitats, perhaps driven by environmental pressures and dwindling mates. Scientists suggest climate change might be forcing these cross-species unions, but the result, larger demanding chicks that symbolize both awkward adaptation and hope under stress. The chances, of eggs hatching and chicks surviving from such a pairing are extremely low, making this a very rare occurrence. Roller bears, or you can call them pizzly bears. Now, picture a colossal bear wandering from the Arctic that carries traits of both a polar bear and a grizzly, an eerie consequence of melting ice and climate chaos. Now, these hybrids, known as roller or pizzly bears, result from polar bears breeding with grizzlies, which are occurrences that are increasing as shrinking sea ice pushes polar bears south. A standout case, a female polar bear born in 1989 produced cubs with grizzly mates, and one cub later bred back with grizzlies, producing further hybrids. Though rare, these hybrids carry haunting implications, a blended legacy that may threaten pure polar bear populations as the ice continues to vanish. The narluga, which is a narwhal and a beluga. Now, a whale skeleton surfaces in Greenland. It doesn't fit the species book because it's neither narwhal nor beluga, but both, a single skull revealing one of nature's rarest hybrids. Though only a single specimen, the find opens doors to understanding how species kind of boundaries blur. The skull was initially found by an Inuit hunter who noticed a whale with features of both species. In 2019, a scientific study using DNA and chemical analysis confirmed the skull belonged to a narwhal beluga hybrid. Now, DNA analysis confirmed the animal was a first-generation hybrid with a narwhal mother and a beluga father. Now, the narluga skull has a very unique arrangement of deformed, twisted teeth and chemical kind of isotope analysis of the skull. It basically suggests that it had a diet similar to walruses, and kind of from the ocean floor. The wholphin, which is a whale and a dolphin, or we can call it a wholphin. She was born a celebrity, a creature with the body of a dolphin and the size of a whale, defying all expectations, and she even had babies. Wholphins are rare hybrids between a female bottlenose dolphin and a male false killer whale. Now, the first was born in Japan in 1981. The most famous, Kikamalu, was born in 1985 in Hawaii. Now, she grew, thrived, and even reproduced, giving birth multiple times. Her name means from the peaceful ocean, which is nice. She displayed striking intermediate traits, darker skin, an altered nose, and behaviors blending both species. Now, in 1991, Kikamalu gave birth to her daughter with an unknown male dolphin. For 2 years, she cared for the calf but did not nurse it. It was, hand-reared by trainers. Now, Pokihola passed away at age 9. On December 23, 2004, Kikamalu had her third calf daughter, Kawili Kai, sired by a male bottlenose. Remarkably, though, one of her calves survived to adulthood, proof that hybrids can sometimes flourish. The sturtlefish, which is a paddlefish and a sturgeon, as you guessed. In a Hungarian lab, scientists were trying to do one thing, but accidentally created something unprecedented. A fish born from a paddlefish and a sturgeon, two species whose path hadn't crossed in eons. Now, it's called the sturtlefish. This hybrid was created unintentionally through experimental reproduction in 2019. Genetic crossing between the American paddlefish and Russian sturgeon, separated by 184 million years of evolutionary history, resulted in hybrid offspring. Some lived over a year in captivity. Amazing for such genetically distant parents. It's a chilling kind of hint that even fragmented evolutionary lines can suddenly reconverge. Cyborg beetles. Now, these aren't ordinary insects, they're cyborg beetles, real living creatures that scientists have fused with technology, turning them into remote-controlled hybrids. In specialized labs, researchers implant tiny electrodes into the beetles' nervous systems. By sending electrical signals, they can trigger the insect's, natural motor functions, controlling flight paths, steering left or right, even making them take off on command. It looks like science fiction, but it's very real. The unsettling part, these beetles are alive. They breathe, crawl, and flutter like any normal insect, yet at the same time, they've become puppets of human technology, a strange fusion of nature and engineering that raises chilling ethical questions. Are we pushing the boundaries of innovation or crossing into a dangerous new era of control over living beings? Proponents argue that there are benefits. A cyborg beetle could navigate collapsed buildings in search and rescue missions. The possibilities seem limitless, but so does the moral cost. The liliger, which is a lion and a liger. So if lions and tigers weren't enough, inside zoos, a second-generation hybrid prowls, child of a lion and a liger. Welcome to the liliger or liliger. A liger itself is a hybrid of a male lion and a female tiger. Liligers are not found in the wild and are extremely uncommon, but they have been born in captivity. Now, first born in 1943, these second-generation hybrids challenge our understanding of genetic limits. Male hybrids are usually sterile, but female ligers can reproduce under rare zoo conditions. The ligers often sport rosettes like leopards, coupled with lion manes, creating creatures that look like wild legends, not science experiments. The ligers are only found in captivity because lions and tigers do not live together naturally. They can exhibit a mix of traits from both parents, with some individuals showing a combination of ligers rosettes and lions sandy colors. To me, they are super cute, but what do you guys think though? The mushroom frog. Yes, you heard me right. So a group of researchers in India in June 2023, just the other day, discovered a golden-backed frog with a bonnet mushroom growing from its flank and encountered this frog with basically a mushroom sprouting from it. Of course, when they took a close look, they noticed the mushroom coming out of the frog and kind of scratched their heads, rightfully so, right? According to reports, a mushroom sprouting from a living, breathing live frog has literally never been spotted ever before or documented. So this is like new and very odd to say the least. Scientists are baffled by this occurrence as bonnet mushrooms typically grow on decaying wood and other deceased organic matter, not living creatures. While the frog appeared healthy, the exact cause remains, unclear. Possibilities include the mushroom growing from a wound or infection on the frog, or potentially a novel, kind of relationship. Researchers in India discover this live frog with a mushroom growing out of it. Of course, questions need to be asked. The pumapard, which is a puma and a leopard. A century ago, big cat breeders produced cubs that look like mini cheetahs, but they were something even stranger, a dwarf hybrid of cougar and leopard, kind of preserved in a museum. So a pumapard is a hybrid of a cougar and a leopard. Both male cougar with female leopard and male leopard with female cougar pairings have actually produced these offsprings. In general, these hybrids have exhibited a tendency to dwarfism. In the late 1890s and early 1900s, a few pumapards were born in captivity, growing to only half the size of their parents with tawny coats and faint rosettes. Now, one such creature exists embalmed in a museum in England, which is a haunting relic of human-led biology experiments. Which strange hybrid shocked you the most? Let me know. I'm your host, Ashley. I'll catch you later.